Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Flopbuster Movie Show live. Today, we are talking about the box office. Every week, we always talk about the box office. Black Adam, we had a chance to see that one. That new Creed trailer, it's looking sick. I can't wait for that movie, and much, much more. So stay tuned, stick around, and let's talk movies. All right, Gabe, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. We got a good amount to talk about today. I feel like every week we have our ups and downs, some news that's not so worthy to talk about, but I think we got some really good things to cover. Anyway, what's up with you, man? What have you been up to?
Nothing much. Just catching on my October haunt movies. My scary movies, and that's about it.
What was your watch today?
I watched Color in Space,
Oh, The Color Out of Space. Yeah, yeah.
Color Out of Space, Fresh,
Okay.
and was it Red Blood Sky?
Red Blood Sky. Oh, the Netflix one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are my
there's
three today. Plus Black Adam.
plus Black Adam. Oh shit, you watched four movies.
I watch four
Um,
movies. That's what I do on my days off. Is I watch movies.
I feel like I haven't watched anything besides Halloween Ends last week and then Black Adam today. I was doing a movie a day and then I skipped 4 days straight because of being out of town. But
You could
I'm ready
catch
to jump
up.
back in. I am. Well, you know what? I was already at 22 movies before that, so
Oh,
I could still make my 30 movie mark within the last few days that we have left.
I think I'm gonna go see Trick or Treat tomorrow night at 10 o'clock.
I I highly recommend it. Right in theaters.
Yeah.
All right, let's get this started, man. We got the box office.
Yay.
Yeah, look at that. Um, At number one, we have Halloween Ends,
Surprising.
$40.1 million. I'm shocked that, especially with the reception of Kills, that this still managed to do 40, which I think is cool. I mean, I think general audiences are still very much interested in this franchise. And I mean, it was on Peacock too, so that's a double win for them. Smile at number two, great stuff for that movie. Really fun. It's a smash hit. I'm
It
really
is.
happy that people dig it. It scared the shit out of me. It really made me uncomfortable.
Smile 2 is coming.
It's got to be coming, man, and I'm here for it. I want to see this get sequels like The Ring. And then we have Lyle Lyle Crocodile, and then at The Woman King, which has been sticking around doing its job. People love that movie. It's such a crowd pleaser. Uh, and then rounding out the top five is going to be Amsterdam. I also want to highlight Terrifier 2. It's been doing very well. They're keeping it in theaters. And I think word of mouth is traveling fast with that movie. I think it's grossed like $3.5 million. Great
Yeah.
stuff. Really cool for that one.
It
But Gabe,
is.
go ahead, man. What sticks out to you here?
Halloween sticks out. I see how Connor says very deceptive poster for Halloween Ends. Hey, you don't know who's behind the mask. That could have just been Corey behind that mask for
Corey, that's true. That's true.
for that movie poster. But Halloween having 40 million, like you said, general audiences love Michael Myers. General audiences aren't as divisive as or toxic as the Halloween fan base is. So they're gonna go see it regardless. They're gonna say it's Michael Myers,
Right.
Halloween.
When I had seen the movie, I think there was genuinely people that they want to go there and they want to see the final bout, which they got. But I think some of them were confused by some of it. I don't know. I don't know what the general audience really thinks about this. I know Rotten Tomatoes has the Rotten Tomato score, but that can be fluctuated depending on which fans put their vote in and how much
Right.
of that is general audience. I think the Cine score was like a C plus, which was the lowest out of the green movies. Which I think I'm not shocked by that, honestly. Um,
No.
but it's got the top spot, like you said, and I think it's great. It's a great win for horror because the past 2.5, 3 years we've been saying this. Horror movies are king. They are bulletproof. They just gross. If they're good or if they're marketed in a way that people want to come see them, they will gross money. Halloween 2018 was a smash hit. It broke records. It was a blockbuster. Kills had to suffer through the pandemic, but still made some decent money.
Right.
And then you got this one, even fighting very divisive word of mouth and being on Peacock, I think is doing pretty damn well on a budget of like 30 million. It grossed 40, so not that bad.
No, I mean I know it's gonna have a sharp decline this weekend because of Black Adam, but I
Yes,
think Halloween might end up with a total take home of like somewhere between 70 to 75 mil.
I think domestically, I'd agree with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it'll end up there, and I think that's fine for something that's a trilogy ender coming at this time, and it's
right.
divisive, very divisive. I think that's a win either way.
And you know what? And I really want to give some love to Smile because it is one of those like independent horror movies that we everybody talks about. Oh, they don't make original horror movies. Oh, they don't. Here you go. There's Smile, and you know what? It made over 100 million at the box office. Like that is a very awesome accomplishment for the makers and producers of Smile for them to achieve that.
I'm with you, man. And Paramount was very confident in this movie from the test screenings. They were super confident. They saw that, oh, we have something and people are very scared of it. We should put this in theaters and see how
Right.
it does. And that's exactly what they did, and it worked.
Paramount's gonna win heads and shoulders this entire year. Like Paramount wins 2022 is like to me like
Right.
one of the top studios.
I agree with you. They
You know,
found something that works. They're saying they're going all in on they're making original content for Paramount Plus, but they're going, "Hey, we have movies that are going to win the box office. We got Top Gun, boom, and we're doing 90-day window. They're staying in theaters. Smile, boom, top of the box office." And I think Babylon, which we'll talk about later, they're incredibly confident in that movie. And I think they think it could be their Wolf of Wall Street.
like
So,
I feel like the pandemic in a sense, and I know that it was terrible for everybody, right? But I feel like the pandemic for especially for Paramount sort of like reset them because I remember before the pandemic, people would talk about Paramount being like on its last legs, like Paramount didn't really have any franchises, Paramount didn't whatever, right? And all of a sudden they come out of the pandemic and they're just like shooting like bangers left and
they're
right.
they really are. Oh, and also we keep forgetting they had Scream.
They had
Scream is
yeah, at the
they
beginning of the
had
year.
right, they had the rights to Scream. They put out the new one. And again, they kept it in theaters until it was time to go to Peacock. They waited.
Right. And I do want to say one last thing before we move on is I do want to apologize, for being a hater of Terrifier. The first movie, I know a lot of people be like, oh, give me. Listen, the second one, I will eat a little bit of crow here. The second one, I thought was better than the first, and
It's
I
fun.
truly,
It's
it's
truly fun.
fun. I truly believe that. I think I like Terrifier 2 better than the first one. Had a better storyline. I could get behind the final girl. Like
Yes.
I really liked it. Like there's like I even liked the art a little bit. All right. So Terrifier 2, and it's awesome that it's getting the third weekend
Mhm.
at the box office, at the movie theater. So
I think more people are talking about it. You have big heads like Stephen King shouting it out. Jerry O'Connor was on a talk show the other day. I think it was one of the Good Morning shows, and he talked about he took his kids to go see it, and he loves that movie. He loves how gory and crazy it is. So word of mouth is really carrying this. If you're in somebody that can get behind all the disgusting deaths and practical effects, there actually is a story here compared to the first one.
right.
It's a bit on the longer side, but it's fun. It's a fun little Halloween movie. I'm happy that it's doing well. I think those guys really put their heart and soul into it for $200,000, and they've now made like 4 million. So now they could go off and do another movie, a bigger movie, and I bet they have
Terrifier
studio
3,
eyes on them. Terrifier 3,
four
or
hour
who
long
knows?
cut.
4 hours, long as the Snyder cut. Release the Terrifier cut. Um, but yeah, I mean, horror speaks to me at the box office right now until this weekend, which we have a few heavy hitters. We have something for everybody this weekend. We have, and we'll get to it. I mean, we have a romantic comedy. We have a big action
Right.
movie, and as well as the carryovers, the horror movies that we've had from prior weeks. So it's going to be interesting to cover those and see what they're about. Um, let's move on to the first big topic of the day. This is like the main one. I've been truly excited to
It's
talk about this because
salivating.
I had no idea a trailer was coming. I was bummed when this was pushed off the November release calendar into March. Um, but what really got me excited was I've been hearing this movie rules from every test screening they've had. Warner Brothers is extremely confident in this, and that this is Creed 3. Gabe, you saw the trailer. What do you think
I
of
did.
Creed 3 so far, man?
Bro, I think that I absolutely love boxing movies. I think I told you that in our chat. I love boxing movies. Like for some reason, boxing movies just resonate with me. Whether it be Rocky, whether it be the Creed movies, whether it be even Southpaw with Jake
Southpaw.
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
There's this Mexican boxing movie called Price of Glory with Jimmy Smits and Clifton Collins Jr. Anyways, boxing is synonymous within like I don't know within our culture, within American culture, from Muhammad
Right.
Ali right to to Floyd Mayweather to Canelo Alvarez, whatever the case may be. I love boxing, and these Creed movies like they sent me back to like me watching like the first Rocky, right?
Right.
Watching Rocky versus Drago. Like I just love them. And watching this trailer just brought me those goosebumps when I saw like I wasn't around for like the original Rockies, but I remember watching the trailer for Rocky Balboa. Remember Balboa when that came out?
Yes.
And even whatever you think about the movie, when you watch that Balboa trailer when I was growing up, I was like, man, I'm excited. I'm gonna see finally Rocky on the big screen. That Creed 3 has me that excited as well. I get like goosebumps thinking about, seeing like sort of like he's living the Mayweather life. He's rich, he's famous, he has all the money. Also reminds me a little bit of Rocky 5 where he's like brings in a mentor into
Right.
his life, right? And then it's like, oh, it's like and then it's like this mentor like, well, I should have what you have. The mentee is like, I should have what you have, and then it starts the drama. I don't know. I'm talking too much. I'm super excited for this.
No, I'm with you on it because I think this is everything that you said it is. It's got a little bit of Rocky 5, a little bit of Rocky 3. It looks like they're doing a time jump because his daughter is like got to be like it looks like she's 9 or 10 years old in this movie. Rocky is off with his kid and his grandson now, so they gave him a happy ending. Creed's over here with little Duke. They're still training. They're still on top of the world. And you find out that they hint at it in the first movie that he had a rough childhood. He was in the detention center before
Right.
Mary Ann comes and adopts him. We get to see that with Jonathan Major's character, who for the first time feel like I think the first two villains are really cool. Um, and Drago's son, they brought something very human to him, even though he was big brute strength. It was a great story, Creed 2, about fathers and sons and the
Right.
expectations of that you place on your kids. Um, and I feel like this can be something deeper because I felt myself just in the trailer almost rooting for Jonathan Majors a little bit. And
You shut your mouth on
yeah,
that.
man, I didn't think I would be feeling that, but no, this looks expertly directed. This is Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, and how fitting is that? Because Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, got his directorial debut directing Rocky 2, and he went on to direct most of the Rocky movies up
Right.
until Creed. So I think this is cool. I think it looks personal. Uh, that fight at the end, everything that they're hinting at, I'm like, oh, they're changing the formula. It's enough to follow the formula, but sometimes you have to change it up just a little bit. I'm excited. Everything I'm seeing here, I'm excited. He's in the woods. He's training hard, punching trees. He must have it bad if he's punching trees. But Jonathan Majors looks great. I already know Michael B. Jordan's going to be great because he's shown us twice before that he is awesome in these movies.
Right.
So I'm bummed because I looked forward to seeing these around Thanksgiving. I think Rocky Balboa actually came out a couple days before Christmas, and I went with my dad at the midnight release. It came out on a Wednesday because it came out Christmas weekend. So me and my dad went to the weekday showing. It was Wednesday, and the crowd was nuts. It was all guys. There
Of
was
course.
not a dry eye in that theater. Even as a kid, there was sniffling in there. The sad ass movie. That movie will make you cry. Same thing with Creed. I had the opportunity to see Creed early, Creed 2. So I'm with you. I'm beyond excited. This is a perfect trailer, pretty much. It really is.
It is. And like I said, boxing. And you know what the Rocky movies set, like you said, a template on how to make like almost the perfect boxing movie. It gives you enough action. You sort of watch like you actually are watching a championship fight.
Right.
They give you basically almost all 12, 15 rounds because there used to be like 15, 16 rounds back in the 70s and 80s, right? But they almost give you all the rounds and then they show you all the technical, the camera work, the footwork, the what it goes into preparing for a boxing match. It just gives you just everything, and I'm there for all that drama. I love that.
No,
That's
I'm
the
with you.
reason why like I used to watch was it HBO or Showtime's like the like all like the fight stuff like before the fight, like all the training stuff like Mayweather did or Canelo did. I love that. Like I love the training aspect. I love seeing all that, and that's what these Creed and Rocky movies give you.
Yeah, 100. And I feel like it's like the human spirit, right? Like we want to see people succeed. And Rocky, let's see if we got Gabe. Looks like Gabe cut out. Oh, he's back. Um, Rocky, when it had come out, people mentioned Star Wars and Jaws, and it changed the landscape of cinema. Like it really, because in the '70s, movies were not hopeful; they were down and dirty. You had your Taxi Drivers and your French Connections and whatnot. And Jaws and Star Wars came, and they brought back the blockbuster in a huge way. Kind of recreated the blockbuster. Rocky's just right there with those movies. Rocky was the first time that people had hope in a movie theater again. Like it made you feel something that you wanted to see the main characters succeed.
Right.
And you got that. And it's carried this tradition throughout every Rocky movie. You want to see that character succeed. And it was a big deal when they did it in Creed, and you cared so much about Creed and Creed 2. So going into this movie, I don't care what it is. I'm just so happy that they've given us new characters for a new generation to be excited about. There's training montages. There's things that we're going to be looking forward to. That's just going to get the audience pumped, and I cannot wait to see this in a packed theater with everybody. It's going to be awesome.
Right. One of the things about boxing movies or any like fighting movie, karate movies, like I come out of the theater and I'm like, I'm gonna join like a boxing.
You just feel better about yourself. Like you just feel pumped and like
right.
you can accomplish anything.
You see like a cut, Sylvester, a cut Michael B. Jordan or whoever,
Right.
and they're all cut and ripped. You're like, damn, like that's like the epitome of like how a man should look. And then I look at myself all flabby and I'm like, I should hit the gym or something. Like, but then after a couple of hours, it goes away and I get a slice of pizza. But you know
Right.
what I mean? Like, you look at these guys like the perfect specimens in a sense.
They are, man. No, but I'm with you. The Rocky movies have been with me pretty much my entire life, and I can rewatch them. I rewatch them every November, just because of the Thanksgiving scene in the first one. It's become my little tradition, right?
Right.
The week of Thanksgiving, I rewatch all of the Rocky movies and Creed movies. So,
Which one's your favorite? Not to get off on a tangent here.
man, it's hard to. I feel like for me, it's almost like a series where it's so hard for me to pick a favorite moment because I appreciate all of them for different ways. Even five, which I know people hate, I still can quote it and have fun with it. And I know multiple people that can quote that movie, even though it's not very good.
You like Tommy and Don King?
Yeah, touch me and I'll sue. Sue me for what? But the first one to me is the quintessential like sort of dramatic blockbuster. And I think it's so relatable and it's very human. And you can't help but to tear up when the music is swelling and he just wants to, he doesn't even care about winning. He wants to be in Adrian's arms. And then that's such a relatable thing. And then Rocky 2. Creed is like right there with them. It's like neck and neck with Rocky 1 and 2 for me. So
yeah,
those three, I would say.
I think I love one. I don't even really care about the boxing match. I think the training montage in one is one of the best training montages in any boxing movie of anything. Yeah. Like I don't even care about the fight. This is training montage. He's like chasing the chicken. He's punching the meat. Right. He's running up the Philadelphia stairs. Like that's all just like classic, and I just love that about the first one.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, this is one of the coolest blockbusters because there's no special effects, there's no CGI, there's no big monster. These are grounded human superhero movies that have 8 movies into this now. No, 9 movies in, right?
9. We had
6 Rocky movies. This is 9 movies into this, and it feels just as fresh as it did the first time. And audiences love it. I mean, come on, man. I'm there with it. I'm there. 100%, man. Connor, what's up, man? I'm sorry I didn't see. I know Gabe mentioned it. I enjoyed the hell out of Rocky 5, and I'm getting some of these vibes in this one for sure, 100%. I think Jonathan Majors, talented actor, beyond talented. I'm so happy that guy's in more things. I loved him in that show he did on HBO. It got canceled. It was really good, really, really good. All right, here we go. Another story of the day: Glenn Powell from Top Gun Maverick. I think this guy's going to be a superstar. He just shared the first behind-the-scenes photo of Hitman. This is a movie coming out that sold pretty well, and they're banking on it. And it's about an undercover cop in Houston who poses as a hitman, and it's going to star Glenn Powell, and he also co-wrote the film as well. Gabe, what do you think of this idea? What do you think of Glenn Powell? Man, I thought he was one of the highlights of Top Gun. I think he's definitely got something about him.
He has a good star quality look to him. He's also coming out in another airplane fighting movie, but set in like the 50s World War II
with Jonathan Majors,
with Jonathan Majors.
devoted.
So yeah, he's a devoted pilot.
Yeah, right,
After he's done with these two, he's gonna actually be flying planes for real.
right. That's what it seems like. Yeah,
No, but I don't know. I like an idea of a detective undercover as a hitman. I mean, you don't ever get to see that. Usually, when you're undercover, you, they give you a lot of leniency to do things. So
right,
hopefully, you know, I'm I'm waiting for a trailer before I say anything.
right. It's an interesting idea, but I think I'm more sold on the fact that he's getting more projects and ambition, and people are trusting him in a lead role because he does have a quality about him that reminds you of like a young Tom Cruise or any of those guys that just have that cocky confidence. And in a movie star, I think that's really cool. Now we don't really get any. I mean, we've mentioned this before. We don't have many new ones. We don't really have many new stars. That's really
We
it.
don't.
Maybe Tom
We
Holland. That's it.
maybe. I think movie stars though now are different in the sense where they're more introverted. You know, they want to be more private. They're all like really depressed and on some sort of medication, as
I
opposed to like
guess.
superstars of like the 70s and 80s, right? Even the 90s, where they were all, you know, like you look at your, you know, Robert Downey Jr.'s or Sean Penn, they're like out there partying in the
Right.
scene, and they were taking their photographs taken by paparazzi, and they wanted to be out there. They wanted those leading man roles. I feel like now these leading men are just more like, well, I
There's
want to keep my shit private.
right.
I'm very emo right now. Don't, whatever the case may be.
Plus they do the big movies, right? Like they have to do the big franchise movies, so they can't really be the star. The movie's the star, right? It's like Marvel and Star Wars and DC. Those are the stars, not the actor.
Right.
So like I think it's cool that there's some actors like a Jonathan Majors or Glenn Powell where I go, oh, you're a fucking star, dude. Like you got the it factor. Um, Here's another story.
I
This is
touched
one.
this one to you.
Yes, and I am excited. I'm so pumped because I've been hearing I feel like we've heard rumors of Twister 2 forever. Twisters
Since
is what it's going to be.
1996, since when this movie came out in 95, I was a very impressionable 12 years old, and I love freaking Twister. I was like, where's my Twisters 2? Where's my Twisters? And I never got it, and I feel like I'm finally gonna get it next year, 2 years from now.
We're getting it, man. It's shooting. Amblin and Universal want to make it happen. They're already hard at work on Arachnophobia. So we're getting two new movies and callbacks to the two great movies. Twisters 2 or Twisters, I think it's called Twisters. I think that's what they're going to call it. Is on the way with Universal Pictures and Amblin and they're meeting with potential directors at the moment.
Right.
So Twisters, the sequel to the 1996 film, will be produced by Frank Marshall, with filming forecasted to start in spring. This comes from Deadline. There will also be hope that a main character will reprise their role in the new film, and that's Helen Hunt. They're hoping Helen Hunt comes back for
Yeah,
this.
because two of them are dead.
Right. And
R.I.P.
yes, RIP to both of them. Deadline reveals that the fast-tracked film was spurred on by Steven Spielberg. He wants a sequel to this. He loves that first one. So Amblin, they've been hard at work finding somebody. Excuse me. The script is already written by Mark L. Smith, and it's said to follow the daughter of Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. I love that. I want to see a big, crazy Twisters blockbuster. I want
Right.
Dorothy to come back. I want all of it, man. You know what it is? I know they're gonna do this, where their new technology is gonna be bullshit. It's not gonna work, and they have to use Dorothy. I know that's what's gonna happen. But I'm excited for this. Had no idea. I knew that it was happening for some time. I knew they've tried to make it happen for some time, but this iteration, I didn't even know they were this far along. And the fact that they're trying to shoot spring, I'm there. I want to see this movie. I want to
Oh
see it,
yeah,
man.
so do I. Helen Hunt coming back. Yeah, absolutely. This movie, the original movie. Like, if you guys watched, a shameless plug, but Victoria was on that podcast doing Halloween H2O with
Right.
Connor and the other game, and I was on
Other
their
game.
show, and we talked about Battle LA about a month earlier. But I said on that show, like, I love that. Like, if you're gonna sit me down and tell me, like, gun to my head, what's one of my favorite genres, I'm gonna say disaster movies. And goddamn Twister was like my first love for disaster movies. Uh,
It's great.
it's great. It has
Right.
the tornadoes, the way that they set up the tornado. I know it's cheesy. I know at back then in '95 they got a lot of hate for its cheesiness, the way they portrayed tornadoes and all this other stuff. But hey, I love tornadoes. I love the shit. My last name rhymes with tornado in a sense.
They turned the tornado into the shark from Jaws. The tornadoes in that
Right.
movie, that's what it is. It's Jaws with tornadoes.
Like this tornado has like a mind of its own and it's going
Right,
this way. Oh wait, it's going back that way. And it's
right.
like, it's a category 5. You've never heard of a category 5 tornado. Like, oh dude, they're
It's so
in the
fun.
barn, they're in the ditch, the eye of the tornado. Dude, I'm
And
there.
you
I like
you gotta watch it on a rainy night or in the summer. It's like the perfect summer blockbuster.
right.
Uh,
That
it's a
cow
movie.
goes by with the
Yeah,
moo. Yeah.
the effects are cool. They did it mostly practical effects on that. I love the Universal show that they did. I don't even think it's around. Victoria told me it's not around the ride. But I used to go on that ride every trip we had in Orlando. So I'm excited. This was news that came out of nowhere. You had sent it to me, and I'm very excited for
Yeah.
Twisters, which they better call it Twisters. It's
Twisters.
simple. It's a great title. I love it. Let's move on to this one. This is one I was not expecting at all, and I've only seen parts of that first movie, so maybe Gabe can give a little hindsight into this. But essentially, Return to Silent Hill is announced, and this is from the director of the original 2006 film adaptation. He's going to be directing this, and it follows the events of Silent Hill 2 while also being a sequel to the original film. And they also revealed the film tells the story of a young guy coming back to Silent Hill, where he has a great known love, and what he's going to find is a pure nightmare. The reveal of the film was during a live stream called Silent Hill Transmission, and they also showed concept art for the film. Gabe, have you seen the first Silent Hill, and what do you think?
I saw the first Silent Hill. I rented it at Blockbuster. Back then, I didn't go to the movies a lot, so I rented it from Blockbuster. And to be honest, I don't remember much. It was very forgettable for me. I know I
Right,
played the video game on the PS2. Uh, I never finished it just because I never finished games.
right.
But that's about it. I thought at the time, like I said, forgettable. And if I'm trying to rack my brain here, I mean, it was decent in some parts, but other than that, I mean, I'm not a big Silent Hill guy. I think Resident Evil was more my bag back then. Um,
Right.
so
Right. I know nothing about this, and I know people love it. I know there's a bit of a following for that first movie too. So let us know if you guys watch if you guys had watched that first Silent Hill movie, if you love the video games, what do you think of this?
I think
Because
it
it
was they go back. She goes into a city looking for her daughter, her sister,
I think
something like
so, right?
that. Yeah,
Right.
something like that. It's very misty, so like the mist type of factor to
I
it.
remember all the trailers and the posters and thinking the posters were so creepy, but I just never got around to seeing the actual film.
Yeah,
So this is something that's coming. It's coming. They
but
announced there's
people
concept
want
art.
it. People want it. People want There's a lot of these great video games that could be turned into really, really good movies. Unfortunately, we haven't had that a lot of luck with really great video game movies. Um, especially
Yeah.
like the horror aspect, right? Like I know Resident Evil, but the knock on Resident Evil is that the movies have never been, in line with how the video games are. Uh,
Right.
you
Right.
know,
Well, even then,
the
they tried doing the most recent one. I thought that was in line with the video games, but I wasn't
Raccoon
that big of a
City,
fan. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was something. But yeah, that Silent Hill. I don't know. Let us know what you guys think of that one because I have no opinion, I guess. But I thought it was interesting to share that because it's far along in production and it's going to be a sequel to a movie from nearly like 17 years ago. So here's one that Gabe, are you excited for this? This is the Equalizer 3 with Dakota Fanning. You got Antoine Fuqua back in the director's chair. He directed the first two. He also did the Magnificent Seven remake with Denzel. Uh, everybody's back, it seemed. These movies are hits. Audiences love them. They're box office hits. And I enjoyed the first one a good amount. I thought there was some really cool action in that one. So, what do you think of this, man? What do you think of a third Equalizer? Did you watch the first ones? I should ask you
I, wa-
that.
I watched the first one.
Okay.
Didn't watch the second one.
Did you not like the first one?
You set me up, man. You're setting me up for hot takes here, bro. I just put on the hot take graphic and call it a day because you already know.
Oh, go ahead.
You already know what you were doing with that. You're setting me up. You watched it. You already know that I don't like certain aspects of Denzel Washington's career. I could appreciate what Denzel has brought, but it's the same fucking role over and over again. There's been multiple studies done that how he always either plays a fucking detective, he's a cop, he's a bodyguard, he's some sort of fucking authority figure, he's a fucking train conductor. It's all the same fucking movie. They're all the same fucking roles that he plays.
Essentially,
His
you're saying
best,
he's Johnny Sins. You're just saying
listen,
he's Johnny.
the best movies that Denzel has been are the ones where he actually branches out. He got game. Devil in the Blue Dress. Shit that he does that he's done out and gone out for. But all his movies are essentially the fucking same movie. He's a police officer. He's some sort of fucking,
He was good in
you know,
Fences. That was good. He was terrifying in that.
like like I said though, it's every single movie from the Equalizer to Man on Fire to Training Day. He's some sort of fucking authority figure, hell bent on doing the job and shit. I can't stand that aspect of his career.
You just don't like him in action movies. You don't like John Q. You don't like John Q. I heard it here. Fair. I don't know. I don't think these are really for me. I think the first one was fun. The second one was serviceable. I don't even remember much of the second one, to tell you the truth. I remember the first one because of Chloe Grace Moretz was in that, and it had a great sequence with him with a timer. Uh, I
Was
thought all
that her or
that stuff was
Dakota
fun.
Fanning?
No, it was Chloe Grace Moretz in the first one. But yeah, Dakota Fanning's in this one. Cool. I like Dakota Fanning. I like Anton Fuqua. I think he's a solid director. So I'll see it. It might end up being a rental or something I see in streaming, but I'll see it either way. But hey, people are seeing these movies. There's dads out there that love them. So there's
Because
that.
it's the same role that Denzel does every single damn time.
They like it,
Same role.
man. They
The same
like
role.
it. Here's something I'm excited about. I'm very excited about this. This is Babylon, and I thought it had one of the coolest trailers of the year. Damien Chazelle directed. Looks great. Margot Robbie, Toby Maguire, Gene Smart, Brad Pitt, obviously. And it was supposed to come out in limited in December, nationwide, January. It's now going full on from Paramount Pictures everywhere. Christmas.
Ooh.
And I think they have confidence that they can counter market against Avatar because the people that see Avatar are 100% not seeing this. And the people that are seeing this probably won't see Avatar. So it's a good little, like, hey, like the mom and dads that like to go to the Oscar bait movies. Here's one you could see on Christmas. Wolf of Wall Street did this 10 years ago. American Hustle did this about 10 years ago. And they both made like $300 million. If they can do that, really counter that window, and if they have a movie that's ballsy like The Wolf of Wall Street, I think they can turn this into a $100 million hit. Actually, they need to because this movie costs like an insane amount of money. And I think January is a bad time for this kind of movie. A really bad time, honestly. These movies
Well,
don't make
January's
money
are
in January.
usually the dump. The
it's
movie
the
is
it's the
dumping out.
dump, and nobody wants to spend money.
Right.
Nobody wants to. I mean, Scream got lucky because it was near the end of January. But I think Babylon, by counter marketing, and if they have a movie that's really smart and it really is a hit, people are really high off of Margot Robbie and everybody's loving Brad Pitt at the moment in movies. I think this is actually a smart move because nobody wants to touch Avatar, and this is a movie that you could counter market because it's not trying to touch Avatar.
Well,
But
I think the movie. I think here's the thing is I think Christmas or the holiday season. Don't whatever you want to call them, holidays, Christmas, whatever. I think that it's big enough to carry two movies.
right,
Simple fact that the last couple of years there's been always two movies released at Christmas, and they both have been hits. I forgot which movies were last. There was Aquaman, and I believe it was Aquaman and Wolf of Wall Street that same year.
No, Wolf of
Or
Wall Street was 10 years ago.
was it
Aquaman,
already?
there. Wait, Aquaman was with another big movie though, and I can't for the life of me remember what it is. I'm
Right.
gonna look it up. Say
It
some.
was.
Let me look this up.
You look it up, and I'll talk over here. It was Aquaman. It was Aquaman something else. But anyways, Christmas time is big because you have people that are off work. You have people that are off school. You could go to the movies any day of the week because you're off. So you could see Avatar one night, and then the next night you could go see, Babylon. You don't necessarily have to pick and choose which movie you're seeing, especially during Christmas time when everybody's off. You
Okay,
have,
if I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Bumblebee.
yeah, oh, yeah, it was. I think
It's
there was even,
Bumblebee.
yeah, I
The
think there was
same
even
exact
three.
day.
I think there was even maybe three movies if I'm not mistaken. There was one year there was three movies and all three movies did well. I believe maybe it was like Frozen that came out like the month prior for Thanksgiving, and then that took off, and then you had Bumblebee, and then you had Aquaman.
Okay, so it looks like Bumblebee and Aquaman were the same day, which is weird because they're the same audience. It's very strange. But The Mule had come out, which was a big hit. The Mule made money. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the Mule, and people show up when Clint's in a movie, man. Yeah, The Mule made almost $200 million. And then we also had Vice, which I believe also made some money.
So listen, it's that Christmas season. Like I
Yeah,
said, people are off school, people are off work. I'm usually off for 2 weeks at the end of the year.
right.
So I was able to see Aquaman, and like the next day I was able to go see Bumblebee. So it's like perfect timing. So I understand why studios for the most part want to stay away from Avatar this year.
Right.
But more kudos for Paramount for having the balls to be like, you know what? We'll go up. We'll go up against
Well,
Avatar.
when Avatar had come out, they went up against Sherlock Holmes, and Sherlock Holmes was I remember the king of the Christmas Day box office. Avatar didn't know it was a hit until months later because it had staying power. But I remember, yeah, that Christmas of '09 was Sherlock Holmes up against Avatar, and Sherlock Holmes killed opening weekend. Like it was like the perfect Christmas movie for families because RDJ was just everywhere.
Off
He
of
was
Iron Man
off
and
of Iron Man. He was just everywhere. That movie was a massive hit. So I think this is good counter marketing just for the fact that it has star power. It's something different. Much like this weekend, we have something that's more star power related and something that's more comic book related. So let's move on to this one, man. This is something that's in the rumor mill right now. Actually, it's not really a rumor, but it is something that the Hollywood Reporter broke this. They're saying, and this was a crazy article. I read the whole thing. There's a lot of little nuggets in here, including stuff they're doing with the Batman universe and DC, and they're still trying to do a Black Superman, possibly. Either way, they have no plan. They still have no plan, and it's looking like shit right now.
there's no
But
pun in DC.
no, there's not. They're still doing Man of Steel 2, and they're looking for a writer. There's a crazy story about Man of Steel 2 and Henry Cavill. I'm not sure if I could really say it because I feel like it would directly spoil Black Adam, but at the same time, The Rock already spoiled it. So I don't know. It's a free game for me to talk about it.
It's free game. It's free game because the Rock's been on his social
Okay,
media talking about it up and
so I guess because it gives context to why this movie was greenlit, so I might as well just say it. The Rock, for those of you that don't know, I mean, we've said it for weeks and months. Warner Brothers is a shit show right now because of David Zaslav. Um, Walter Hamada was the head of DC. He was anointed the head of DC during the AT&T era. Walter Hamada was brought in to clean up all the bullshit. Walter Hamada's plan was this: let me get really talented filmmakers, and they could do their vision over whatever they want to do, and I'm going to make good movies. He's the one that greenlit Joker. Joker's very divisive, but I think for the most part, the consensus is it's a very good movie and people like it, and it won Oscars. He greenlit that. He greenlit the Batman. He actually did greenlight Black Adam, but he kind of shot him in the foot. And he greenlit a Black Superman movie, which would have been Superman, and it would have been a 3-decade story spanning the life of and the rise and fall of Superman, going through old age and stuff. It would have been really different and interesting, and I think it was also set in the 40s, if I'm correct. But they were going to do something weird. He greenlit that Batgirl. What happened was they make the change with Zaslav, and he's coming in and chopping everything. Walter Amada got really pissed. They canceled Batgirl. That's one of the reasons he left. Another reason he left. This had just come out. It's in the same Hollywood Reporter article. This is not a rumor. This is essentially fact. I'm going to take it for that. Hollywood Reporter really reports these things with ease, and they have sources. Hamada said no to the Henry Cavill post-credit scene in Black Adam. He said, "We're not doing that. Audiences did not respond to Zack Snyder. We need to step away and get away from that thing." The Rock goes behind Walter Hamada's back last second when 1 month to go before this movie drops and says, "I want Henry Cavill in this movie." He talks to some other producers above the line. They make it happen. Walter Hamada gets pissed. That's one of the reasons he quits. So this is all happening, one, because of The Rock, and he wanted him for Black Adam. And yeah, that's it. I mean, this movie really got greenlit because of some shady deals that The Rock pretty much made with other producers, just going behind Walter Hamada's back. So I don't know if this is gonna get made. It's in active development. Henry Cavill is back. That was one of the things that The Rock wanted. He got it. We got the cameo in this movie. Looks like they're doing it. So Gabe, I'll pass it to you. What do you think of Man of Steel 2?
Uh, if you'd have told me about Man of Steel 2 5, 6 years ago, I've been all in. And I'm like, yeah, I really like Man of Steel. I really like the first Man of Steel. I know you don't. I know you don't like it. It's not your favorite. I liked it. I'm also was all in the Snyderverse, right? But now that the Snyderverse is over, essentially, like, why would they continue to bring back actors and characters, of that Snyderverse? Like, give me a brand new Superman then. Like, I understand The Rock came in late. I mean, and that's The Rock's own fault, right? I mean, what Black Adam has been in development for what, like 15 years?
A very long
Like,
time.
very long time. And it wasn't made because of The Rock wasn't ready. The Rock was doing this, The Rock whatever, and then finally they made it. The Snyderverse is dead, and he still wants to bring that back. Like, no, man, like, just, it's done with. Like, you want a Superman? Cool. You could have Superman. Cast another person as Superman. Like, why you gotta bring back Henry Cavill, right? Everybody knows I love Batfleck, right? And I would love to see another Batfleck. But I'm
Yeah.
also at that. I'm also at that point where that's it. It's done. Like, I don't need Ben Affleck in another, Batman movie that's not going to be done in the Snyderverse. In the Snyderverse. Like, that's it. I'm done. Like, why bring back something that wasn't a big hit? It was so divisive between fans. Like, you have fans that don't love Batman versus Superman. You have people that don't love Justice League. Man of Steel, yourself there, right? Why bring those characters back? Just let them die off.
No, I agree, and I think this is it's strange because I think there's fans that have this perspective that Walter Amada killed what we love. Like, forget that guy. We're happy he's gone. I'm like, yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, he was the one pushing quality. He was the one that pushed Joker. He's the one that pushed the Batman. He's the one that said we could have Blue Beetle and all these other things. Like, he was the guy that pushed all this. So
Right. Look at the other movies that weren't in the Snyderverse that were great. Shazam, right?
the Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. I mean, maybe it was, maybe I'm
Right,
talking
those
out
are
of my
movies
ass
that are
here.
loosely connected, right?
Right, like Aquaman, Wonder
Right.
Woman, right? I know they're connected, they appeared, but whatever the case may be, the standalone Aquaman and the first Wonder Woman, and to some regard the second Wonder Woman, were great standalone films
Right.
that were loosely connected into the Snyderverse. Shazam was so out of left field, so much fun, right? And then for them to, like, I don't know, bring Black Adam, and are we gonna I don't know.
We'll get to
I'm just
Black Adam. I got
yeah.
one more thing to get to because this is funny. Okay, so they released the trailer. This is a movie I heard about. Man, I feel like they just talked about it and they actually put some money into this. They made it. They brought back the original cast. God damn, my throat gets dry on this. Um, they brought back the original cast. It's a Christmas Story 2, but they're calling it A Christmas Story Christmas. It's a really stupid title. It's coming out November 17th. I think HBO, before the new regime has really come in and fucked everything up, we're really planning on doing a Christmas movie a year. Last year they had 8-Bit Christmas, which I thought was a lot of fun. That
Yeah,
was so fun and so cute and heartwarming. And it was very much a Christmas story. But now we have the OGs back, the OG cast, and it's about an older Ralphie going back to his childhood home. So Gabe, what do you think about a sequel to A Christmas Story? They've tried to do a sequel before, but they've been like directed to DVD stuff. This is like a first official sequel on HBO Max. Are you gonna watch it November 17th?
I am not.
Why not? Why not, Ben? Why?
I
Is it because they
don't
played it
like.
on TNT too many
I
times
don't like
for
the
you?
original Christmas Story.
That's terrible.
I didn't grow up with a Christmas Story. I didn't like it. And then I actually never watched it till maybe about 6 7 years ago was the first time I watched a Christmas Story. And I was like, this is all the hoopla, this is all the love that this movie gets. I was like, it's not even that good.
I think it's I think it's a fun enough film, and I understand why it's a classic and why people like it. And I come across it maybe every few years. I don't watch it every year. It's not one of my favorites, but I understand why people dig it.
I
But
mean,
it is interesting. This is a movie that got greenlit and is coming, but other
right.
ones got canceled and canned.
I mean, and I get it, and I've always gotten the references, right? The leg lamp, the Easter bunny stuff, you shoot
Right.
your eye out. But I don't know. I feel like there's hundreds, probably 100 Christmas movies I could put that are better than A Christmas Story. I think the only thing I think it got popular is because, like you said, it was on TNT around the clock. That one and then it's A Wonderful Life. Like,
I I I think It's a Wonderful Life to a lesser extent. It definitely played a lot, but I think A Christmas Story played to a point where it was like, holy fuck! It was like I remember one day they advertised it was like a 10-hour block, and they would play it all night. I'm like, man, play Christmas Vacation, play something else.
right, and plus, I'm it's, I like Christmas. I love the holiday season, right? But
Right.
I'm also a person that feels like let's give every holiday like its own time frame. Like we have Halloween stuff in August, which is cool, right? But it's still summer. Like like let's hold back on the fall stuff to like mid September minimum, right? And then you have Christmas stuff coming out in like early
Talking on
October.
November 1st, man.
No, October, dude. I went to
Yes.
Sam's.
Yeah.
I went to Sam's Club, Home Depot, and Menards the other day. Menards is like a Midwest home improvement store. But anyways, they all had their Christmas displays fully out. Their Santa's Village stuff like fully out, and it's like, dude, it's not even November. Like we're middle of October. We don't need Christmas stuff already. Like where's Thanksgiving? Where's my
So did
turkeys? Where's my mashed potatoes?
so did Home Depot. Home Depot had everything out already when we went. It's Target too. Hey, it's a big holiday, man. It's the market.
Yeah, like and there's what here in Chicago, right? They got the all Christmas music radio station. It's about ready to start going. They already started announcing it. They're coming November 1st. All Christmas music all the time. Like, no, I do not need Christmas in November.
Right. No, I'm with you. Okay, here is we get to start talking about this one. New releases, and we're gonna start wrapping up here. We're within the final I would say 12, 13 minutes of the show, so we're still talking about Black Adam. Okay, so we have Black Adam and we have Ticket to Paradise. I am seeing Ticket to Paradise, I believe, Sunday because I'm excited for a big romantic comedy with star power and just
Let me know how many teeth Julia Roberts has in that smile.
it looks goofy. It looks like a fun time. I really
It's
like.
huge overseas. It's raking millions overseas.
Yeah, it's made like $80 million overseas. So the Europeans, they love our movie stars. And then there's Black Adam, which is looking to crush at the box office. They're saying 60 to 70 mil at the moment. That could drop. Word of mouth isn't that great right now. It
No,
is. I think
yeah,
it's 43% on the tomato meter at the
and
moment.
we're gonna give our two viewers here some oral here about Black Adam
Yes.
because we
Quiet
both
night
saw
tonight.
it.
Not a lot of people. We got two. Thank you for the two viewers, Connor and whoever the other mysterious person is. Thank you. I know it's I feel like Thursdays, as great as they are hit or miss for us because we go a
Depends.
little later and there's big movies and people are seeing those. So I definitely understand. But yeah, for the people that are here, thank you for watching. But Gabe, go ahead with your point.
My point is that Black Adam is very meh. 15 years in development, 15 years for him to make it, 15 years of hearing The Rock on social media saying, "Oh, Black Adam's coming to you, Black Adam, Black Adam, Black Adam," and so I'm expecting this spectacle, and it is in some parts. It is a very much a spectacle, and then you watch it and you're like, "I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm not that interested. Like I wished I wasn't. I wish I could have watched it at home so I could just be on my phone and watch it like while I'm on my phone instead of like having to focus on the big screen. Like it was just very blah type of movie. Um, that
I'm
that's how I
with you
felt.
because I felt like for a movie about Black Adam, I was more interested in the characters not named Black Adam. And I cared more about, I mean, the Justice Society is in this. You see that from the poster. Pierce Brosnan is Dr. Fate. I thought he was great. I love Pierce Brosnan in this. I thought he was so cool. I thought the Justice Society was a lot of fun. There's another cameo. I don't want to ruin it. That's better than the Henry Cavill one. The one they didn't ruin this, as far as I know. They didn't ruin it. I don't know if Gabe, you know which one I'm talking about. It's the
No,
little thing at the
let me
beginning.
know in the chat.
Um, it has to do with Adam Smasher. That's all I'm gonna say. His
Oh,
introduction. I was so happy with that. It made me chuckle. I
yeah,
loved
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. I get it. But you know what? Even Noah Centino did a pretty good. I was like, Noah Centino, like
He
they're
was
gonna
good.
bring in the freaking the lifetime movie actor, for these kid shows.
But like
Uh,
even him, like they all seem more
he was
interesting
good, and he was
than yeah.
interesting. I would have wanted to see more Adam Smasher, like
Right. No, I'm with you because I
the
think the
Cyclone Girl.
right. Everybody. I mean, Hawkman has been somebody that people have been waiting for a very long time, and I thought he was cool. I thought like again, the Justice Society was very cool in this. But my problem with the movie is my problem with every big blockbuster that I see in the past 10 years. And it's essentially if I walk out of it and I feel like I have nothing to say, then to me it's a bummer.
Right.
That's it. It's if I walk out of it and I don't even know what to talk about, then the movie didn't engage with me.
I
In this
knew that was
movie,
gonna be it when you were like,
yeah.
send me your review for the shorts instead. Because we were talking about it before I went in, and we're like, "Oh, I'll do." I was like, "I'll do the
Right.
TikTok review," and you're like, "I'll do the shorts then on YouTube." And I was like, "All right, cool." And then you come on and you're like, "You know what? Just send me your review for the shorts too. Like, I'll just put up your stuff on for YouTube shorts." I was like, "Ah,
Well, there's sometimes when a movie is so bad, then I have to tell people about it, right? Or if it's like bad, but like I'm conflicted, like Don't Worry, Darling, or I'm conflicted, where I'm like, man, there's great ideas. Olivia's a great director, but this movie isn't it. The script is weak, and all these things. But this is a movie where I feel like, man, I know there's fans that are gonna love this, and I think you'll love it. If you want big spectacle, you get that. But to me, I can't have fun in a movie where it's just yellow, muddled people having CGI battles. And that's all this movie is. For the first half, I was like, where's the fucking story? Like nothing's happening. And it's a third act battle, followed by a third act battle, followed by a third act battle. And that's the whole movie. And The Rock isn't bad in this. I'm happy that he's doing something a little bit different because he is Black Adam is a dude that's straight up murdering dudes in this, right? But I thought some
right."
of the acting was not great. Some of the dialogue was just really hard, especially from the kid. The main I don't want to rip on a kid, but the stuff that they give the kid to say isn't all that great. But I could see people liking this as a B movie superhero film. If you want to come in just for the pure spectacle and action, you get that. But to me, I felt superhero fatigue watching it in terms of I've seen the big beaming light in the sky in about 12 movies now.
Suicide Squad
Suicide Squad,
from Sanchez,
right. I've seen it in Man of Steel. I've seen it in Justice League. I've seen it in The
Batman.
Avengers. I've seen it in Batman v Superman and all like I don't need that anymore. And even the monster in this looks like the bad guy from the Suicide Squad. Looks like Steppenwolf. Um looks like that the thing that Wonder Woman fought. Like they're like
Looks like he also
CGI nothing.
looks like a Diablo from Suicide Squad.
Right, like that's what this villain looks like. It was a terrible villain. It's not a terrible movie. It's there's some charisma there. Again, Pierce Brosnan is awesome. I thought he was
He is.
great. He's the best character in the movie for me. The Rock,
And no, Noah Centino
Noah
was
Centino was
also
fun.
he was cute. He was fun. He was like just this lovable like goof doofus type. You know.
Right, but it's funny that those characters are more engaging than the main character. There's
Yeah.
nothing engaging about Black Adam. Like I
No,
think
he
there's some
was
good backstory.
honestly he was better off coming on with Shazam for the first Shazam.
I agree.
Like
Or had this movie been the Justice Society movie versus Black Adam, and the whole movie's from their point of view, I think this is a way better movie. And then you have Black Adam come in, and then he's not that bad after all, and then they go fight a big bad because they misunderstand him, and he's more of an anti-hero. I would get that, but this movie feels like it's one big commercial for The Rock to fight Superman. That's it. And I admire The Rock because he is a promoter, man. He comes from the WWE world, right? Where he knows how to amp up a crowd. So if there's
right.
people that clap during the scene here, they're gonna love it. And I think if you came in here for superheroes punching each other in the face, you get that. But for me, it's not something I want to see again.
Right. So remember, it's not The Rock, it's Dwayne
It's
anymore.
Dwayne. It's Dwayne Johnson. It's Black
Dwayne
Adam.
Johnson.
But
Um,
I don't know. This is exactly what I was afraid the movie would be.
right.
And
And we've talked about this. We don't want to shit at movies because we feel like there's always going to be a gray line with a gray zone with movies. Um,
Mhm.
you know, and we always want to be within that gray line. But this one's the movie where I can definitely be on to the lower end of that gray line and just be like, hey, if you want to see it, but don't waste your money to go see it. Just wait for it to come out on HBO Max down the line. You know,
Right. And again, I mean, it's weird because within a week there was one movie that we were not excited for, and we talked about the marketing was not great, and me and you both walked out of it and we loved it, and that was Halloween Ends. And then we walk out of this one where we talk about it looks fun, but like we need to see more, and we need to see what it's about. And we heard those initial reactions, and I heard really good things. But sitting down watching the movie, I can say with confidence, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't what I want out of a superhero movie. To me, it's not about spectacle and effects over character. It's about
right.
character first. So
What I feel like what happened is that they wrote a script 15 years ago, and instead of updating that script, they
yes.
left that same script from 15 years ago and shot that.
Yep.
Because superhero movies have evolved since then. We've gotten so many different Oscar-worthy, you know, superhero films, right? This movie is a throwback to those superhero movies from like 10, 15 years ago, where it was
Right.
just you know, smash them up, boot them up, you know, paint by numbers type superhero movie. Um, and that's what we got. They
That's what we
never
got.
updated the scripts, and that's it.
Now, if that's something that entices you, and like you want to see that, go out and see it. Like if spectacle is what you want in a B movie popcorn flick, like I think that's what you get here. But for me, I was just like really just waiting for it to end. And what right when I thought it was gonna end, I'm like, all right, well, it was whatever, ready to go. Getting up, I'm like, there's still 30 minutes of this goddamn thing. 30
Yeah,
more minutes
I
to
thought it
go.
was gonna end, and I'm like, all right, well, that's it, that's done. I put the seat down, the recliner down, and I was getting my popcorn, and I was like, wait, there's still more, and there's some more like, ooh, I could tell what the future is coming. I'm like, there's more to this,
Cool.
isn't there?
Well,
Yeah,
at first I'm like, all right, sequel setup, cool, whatever. I like Doctor Fate, thought it was a whatever movie, and then the movie keeps going. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I was like, right when I was like, it was whatever, and just it was a safe, bland film. I went to like, all right, like you're gonna tack on the villain. Now you're gonna tack on that he meant something after all. Whatever. It was. If you were excited about this, I think you'll get what you wanted to get out of it. Other than that,
right.
I think for everybody else, it's gonna be very bland. That's it.
That's it.
We've
I
seen
got
better blockbusters this year,
there has been better, so much better.
dude. And again, it's I will
Morbius was
take.
better.
I've no, Morbius was much worse, but
Morbius was better than Black
no,
Adam.
Morbius had no charisma. This movie at least has The Rock and Pierce Brosnan, and again, Noah Centino
Jared
is
Leto, Matt Smith. That's all
Jesus
I need.
Christ. Um, but what I will say, I think we've gotten some damn good blockbusters this year.
We have.
Really good, really good, and even stuff like Bullet Train, which was controversial and divided. I felt like I loved it. I know you loved it,
I love it.
so
Still love it. Still number
yeah.
one.
I watched it with my parents like a week ago, and I still have a blast with it. So yeah, that's my Black Adam review. I think I gave it a 2 out of 5 on Letterbox.
I give it a 2 out of the 5.
Okay,
as
yeah,
well.
so we're very middle of the road.
Very
It's
middle.
serviceable. Maybe wait for the rental. That's
Yes,
where I am with it. And I'm
agreed.
glad that I'm able to get Gabe's video up. So if we get some hatred, because those YouTube shorts do well in the algorithm, it'll all be directed at
Yes.
Gabe.
Or we could just like split, like edit like the last 5 minutes of this and also post it. I'll be like, here's our dual review.
Right, right. Here's our review. I mean, I wanted to do a spoiler discussion, but walking out of it, I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk about that for an hour.
No,
um,
there's not an hour's worth of like talk. Like we could literally do another Halloween and spoiler talk for another hour
and
because there's
I feel
so
like we
much
would
to
have more
cover
to
that.
say, right?
Right, there's
Like, yeah,
more to say about that. And Black Adam feels like we just said it right here within like the last 5-6 minutes. There's really not much more to say for it.
there's nothing much to say. If you wanted spectacle, you got that. There's zero story. And there's dumb movies in this genre that I love. And I've liked the two Venom movies. I know you have too. Those are fun. Uh, but this is, if you're looking for spectacle in DC, you got it. Go out and
There's
see it
more
if you want
character
that.
development in Venom than there is.
We got a comment. What topic are you talking about? We are talking about Black Adam.
Black Adam, the movie that just came out today.
Black Adam. We've seen Black Adam. But Gabe, I got nothing else to say, man. I'm ready to wrap up. I think that was it for me. Yeah, I got nothing else to really talk about.
No, I'd just promote our stuff for next Monday, Tuesday.
Monday. We're doing Monday, and I'm gonna nail down the details. But we are having my favorite horror movie with Bloodbath TV. Very excited, first time guest on the channel. It's gonna be
Yes,
awesome. We are nailing down which movie exactly because there's two options at the moment. But I'm excited to have him on. He's very talented. Love that channel. Love the reactions that he's doing right
yes.
now. I think it's so cool. So we do have that, and then I don't know what else is coming up. I know we got some things cooking, and we really gotta get together and set the game plan for November because we've had our game plan for September and October. And I know we want to get into the holiday films and talk about things that aren't horror, and we'll definitely get into that and have more guests on too.
Yes, yes, and then don't forget that you can also follow us on TikTok where I got my movie reviews. Tony, you have your shorts and reviews on there too. Um, the letterbox, all the other good stuff.
Yes.
We can find what we've been watching for October.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. We did watch it. We both watched it today. I watched it with The Rock. If you look at my review on TikTok, me and The Rock went to go see Black Adam together.
You and little baby Rock, yeah.
Yes,
Thank you, Connor. Thank you for sticking around, man. It was fun having you on. But yeah, that's really it. That's all we got. And I got nothing else, man. I mean, yeah, the shorts, the TikToks. I've been slacking on mine, but Gabe's been consistent on his and getting his out there. So we're trying to see everything, upload everything. I'm interested in VHS 99. I might post something for that because I like those movies. I've been having fun with them.
I may post Trick or Treat when I go see it tomorrow night
I
at
say
10
do it.
o'clock.
Let everybody know what the theatrical experience was about. Um, but yeah, go see a movie. Go see a good movie. There's a bunch of good things out. That
Yes.
I
Go
guess
see a
go see Black.
romantic. Go see tonight's romantic. Go see the romantic comedy with Julia Roberts and
Right,
George
George
Clooney.
Clooney. Right, I think that movie's gonna do very well, and I'm gonna be there Sunday. I'm gonna see it. But that's it. That's all
All
I
right.
got. Tune in Monday for us. Check out our TikToks, and then we will post you guys on whatever else we do because we're getting close to 600. That's gonna happen soon, and then upward and onwards to 1,000.
Hopefully we get to 1,000 by the end of the year, guys. So share us, like us, tell your family, tell your mother, tell your daughters, tell your stepkids, tell your
Yes,
mistress, tell everybody, to subscribe
everybody.
to us.
So that's gonna do it for us. It's been a great night. Thanks for chilling with us, talking about these movies, and we will see you next time.